She delivered the line with a grin, sharp and mocking, a smug twist of her lips I barely recognized. At least Mom's new husband isn't a broke failure like you. The clatter of forks stilled. Her voice, loud and practiced, sliced through the hush of my dining room like a knife. My ex-wife sat at the table's end, lazily twirling her wine glass, as if she hadn't fed those words to our daughter days before. I didn't reply. I chewed deliberately, swallowed heavily, and reached for my glass of water, masking the sting of being carved open in front of the two people I once called my family. That's when the silence began. Not the fleeting quiet in the room, but a deeper, internal stillness. There was a time when Sarah would clamber onto my lap after ballet practice, her tiny feet rough from the studio, her cheeks flushed, her breath brimming with dreams. "You're my hero, Daddy," she'd say, and I believed her. Even after the divorce, I stayed present. I paid for everything, her tuition, her car, her summer abroad in Paris. Every boast she made to her friends was built on my quiet sacrifices. I never caused a scene. Not when Laura left me for a man with a slick grin and a flashy credit card. Not when she slowly poisoned Sarah with tales of my resentment, my shortcomings, my failures. I watched my daughter slip away, her words growing sharper with each passing year. But I clung to hope that she'd see through the lies. That night at dinner, I realized hope was gone. The betrayal wasn't loud. It was in the subtle shifts. Sarah's hug stopped, her eyes rolled when I asked about her day, and she began calling her mother's husband Dad in my presence. The final blow came when I saw the tuition receipt, paid not by me but by him. They'd locked me out of the financial portal, erased me from her life, but not from my own money. That's when I stopped waiting for them to see me. Laura always thought I was too passive, too quiet to disrupt her polished existence. She forgot I'd built the life she flaunted. I knew how to unravel it. First, I contacted the bank and froze the education fund I'd set up in my name. It was legally mine. She never read the fine print, assuming I'd keep paying to avoid conflict. Then I called the dealership. Sarah's car was leased through my business account. I canceled the contract, and it was towed from her school lot at sunrise. Next, I locked her out of the school accounts, meal plans, dorm fees, textbooks. I had the university redirect all correspondence to my private email. Sarah couldn't enroll for the next semester until the balance was settled. I waited. The fallout came at 6:43 p.m. Laura's call came first, her voice trembling with panic. "What have you done?" "Sarah's stranded. Her car's gone." Sarah called next, sobbing, her voice raw. "What's wrong with you?" I paused, then spoke with a calm I'd earned. "I stopped funding disrespect. You can't just." "I can. I did. And I will again if you keep pushing." The silence on the line was exquisite. "You're punishing her." Laura snapped. "No," I said. "I'm teaching her consequences, just like you'll learn yours." Click. She hung up. I smiled for the first time in months. 2 days later, Sarah showed up at my door, not for a visit but to plead. Her eyes were puffy, her nails chewed, her clothes unfamiliar, probably borrowed. She hadn't dressed so plainly in years. "I need help," she whispered. I said nothing. She crumbled, tears spilling. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. It was a joke. Mom said you wouldn't care." I looked at her, not as the entitled girl who'd discarded my love for her mother's approval, but as the child I'd once tucked in, who'd cried after her first recital, terrified I wouldn't be proud. "I never wanted you to love me for money," I said softly. "But I won't let you hate me and still take from me." "I don't hate you," she sobbed. "I was stupid. I just wanted to fit in. I didn't mean what I said at dinner." "You did," I replied. "And that's okay. Now you'll learn what it costs." I didn't hand her the keys or write a check. I gave her something better, accountability. She got a part-time job, moved in with a friend, and began to understand the weight of her words. Laura kept calling, leaving long, rambling voicemails, sometimes furious, sometimes begging. I never responded, but I heard every word. "You're ruining her life." No, I was saving her from Laura's. Months passed. Sarah's texts grew shorter, humbler. She stopped asking for handouts and started sharing small victories. A photo with her coworkers, a used textbook she'd bought, a quiet thank you for the lesson. She was learning. Laura, meanwhile, went silent when her husband's business collapsed under a pile of loans. Her social media, once a parade of yachts and power couple hashtags, grew still. I didn't act. I stepped back and let reality take over. People think revenge is loud, chaotic. But the truest kind is quiet, deliberate. It doesn't destroy, it exposes. And when the dust clears, those who betrayed you finally see you weren't weak. You were patient. And now you're free.